Could anyone stop Mathieu van der Poel putting his name into the history books even further with the Tour of Flanders Paris-Roubaix double? Very similar route this year as normal, 55 Ks of the hardest cobbles in cycling, over 270 kilometers, finishing in the famous Roubaix velodrome. Good weather, strong tailwind throughout the day, and if you want to improve your cycling performance as summer approaches, then the Join Cycling training platform is the best place for you. Adaptive and flexible training plans for whatever your chosen goals are. You can get 30 days free, no strings attached, through the link down below. Tom Pidcock, after crashing in the recon of the Basque Country TT, was at the race. Surprisingly, Laporte made an appearance for Visma Bike, but the true super team here was Alpecin de Koenig, with second last year Philipsen and the returning winner Mathieu van der Poel. So it'd be a big fight for break formation. Also, I thought, in fact, the break went a lot quicker than last year, going with only 25 Ks done in the race. Liam Slock on Lotto Destiny, opening it up, and Casper Asgren, Malecki, Marco Haller joined that group, as well as Tiller. Hagenez bridged across with Saritza. Bahrain and Ineos missed it, 70 Ks an hour, strong break. Tour of Flanders winner in there from 2021, and when there was a crash in the peloton behind, Milan was out of the race. That signaled control time, and even the graphic had some of the faceless sort of NPC rouleurs for Alpecin, who did a fantastic job today, taking control with 220 Ks left. Oscar Riesebeek, but they got some help, despite Milan crashing, like I just said, from Little Trek. Don't know why. Probably Alpecin were pretty happy with that. They got to keep fresh. They didn't have to control for that long, even though it was a dangerous break, because the first cobble sectors with 163 Ks left in the race, and so Riesebeek was still there, and they started making Trek regret that, absolutely smashing the opening cobble sectors. Laporte flattered in the first 100 meters, race over. Roubaix doesn't forgive mistimed mechanicals, and the break was getting no margin. Look at the size of this quote-unquote peloton, with Alpecin de Koenig absolutely smashing the first opening sectors, and then they came out. Riesebeek looks back. Everyone here present and correct. Sweet. I'm going to continue pacing really hard with basically the whole team. 7 riders lined up with a crosswind from their right shoulder. Vermeersch looks back. He sees they've got splits. Pedersen was on the wrong side of it, I think. Ineos are as well. And he tells them absolutely send it even harder. Van der Poel even started taking pulls. So Alpecin, incredibly strong performance all round from the team today, catching the break before Haveloui, before Denain. They come past the break with Kielich. Joshua Tarling has a mechanical. This spectator probably thought he was helping, but he's got the phone in one hand, he's trying to record. I don't know how many extra meters he gave Tarling with that little push, maybe a centimeter. But unfortunately for Tarling, he's this rider here holding on to, I think, a bit on out of the Ineos team car, and gets a very, very sticky bottle. Helicopter shot was showing it. Comms pointed it out, and that means there's a 99% chance that you're getting booted out of the race, which was a shame for him. But yeah, Alpecin didn't stop. Just because the break was caught, this was the size of the peloton, and they have 5 riders in it, Van der Poel and Philipsen, plus I think Riesebeek had crashed with Kielich, Vermeersch, Edward Plancard had been there before, and Pidcock said it has been full gas. And even on these 2-star sectors, they're pushing so hard, they're creating splits. So Alpecin in control almost all day, except for when Kielich nearly ran a cropper on that corner. Into the chicane, the famous chicane. They enter in decent enough position. Van der Poel, 5th or 6th wheel or so. No crashes, thankfully. And Visma Bike youngsters, Perster and Hagenez and the Van Dijk brothers looking really, really good. But Tim Van Dijk would have a mechanical right there. That would sort of take him out of the front group. Pedersen starts smashing, but Van der Poel already showed who's the strongest on Arenberg. He goes to the front, not sure if he was just doing his own tempo, but basically puts Pedersen on a gap without trying too hard, and Philipsen's able to follow in Arenberg as well. The only problem was Philipsen has a mechanical, but it's not badly timed. It's after Arenberg, he hasn't had to walk the whole trench, and also he's able to ride on it. So Van der Poel and he figure out when's a good time to actually get that fixed. He waits for service to be near to him. And this was a bit of a tricky moment for Van der Poel here. After Arenberg, this is the only part of the race where, even though Vermeersch is right there, this was about the only time where, with some anticipations and with Trek behind not helping, and with Pedersen having a mechanical, there was a little bit less control in the front of the race. And indeed, it got worse for Alpecin when Vermeersch, he goes past Van der Poel. You can see him saying something to him. I don't know if he was trying to launch Van der Poel or attacking with him or what, or just going to the front to pace, but he went too hard. Vermeersch attacks. And then no one goes with him, and he realizes, or looks back probably and sees Kung and Pollitt bridging, and he stops. He stops pedaling completely. So maybe Van der Poel said stop. That's not really the plan, especially with Pedersen off the back, the big contender. Maybe you want Vermeersch to just pace. And so he creates a bit of an awkward situation because now he's got two super strong rouleurs with him who are stronger than him. And Van der Poel is chasing that group. This was the only moment where there was a bit of panic for Van der Poel. He eventually sees Pithy marking him on his wheel, gets on the radio, and just obviously says to Vermeersch, don't pull. And he has to rely on two things. Firstly, Vermeersch being able to follow those guys. Secondly, Philipsen marks any other counter moves in this group, he'd come back. And Vermeersch is getting a free ride. But the thing that MVP really could count on was Trek with Turns and Vacek just pacing him in the wheel like an E3 all the way back to Pollitt and Kung, even in fact using Pedersen to pace at times whilst he sat in the wheels. So with Orsi and Orsi coming up, all that had to be done was, once again, Gianni Vermeersch marking other counter moves or anticipations. Vermeersch is saying to them, I'm going to be here all day. You can try anything, I'll be here all day. And in fact, he was there all day, marking moves. And we go into a 3-star sector. Orsi, he's on the front pacing, setting it up, and Van der Poel drops the bomb. 60Ks to go. There hasn't been a solo that long for 100 years before the professional era. Surely Van der Poel couldn't go that long. The answer was he definitely could. Pedersen not able to respond. Van der Poel gaining already on a 3-star sector like that about 7-8 seconds. And we saw in E3, we saw in the Tour of Flanders, that when they're chasing like this behind or not really chasing at all with Vermeersch marking, Philipsen marking, that no one's going to catch Mathieu Van der Poel because Pedersen just can't ride like that all day, especially when already Van der Poel had taken out a 1:35 gap. So it's been the year of long solos, Strade Bianca, Tour of Flanders, E3, but this is one of the most impressive all year in the biggest one-day race of the year. Mathieu Van der Poel going clear with 60Ks to go, winning. He could have won by probably 3.5 minutes. He probably took it easy in the last couple of sectors. Back-to-back wins in Roubaix. 3 straight monuments this year for Alpecin de Koenig, and also with Pollitt launching early, Philipsen able to sit in the wheels in the run-in. Icing on the cake, second for 2 years in a row. So a very strong podium. The best Cobble Classics rider in the world, Philipsen, as well as Mads Pedersen. Niels Pollitt came 4th, then Kung at Vermeersch, Lawrence Pithy. Tim van Dijk was 8th, but then he got relegated. Then Meus and Varensgold. I hope you enjoyed the video. That marks the end of the Cobble Classics. We've got the Ardennes coming up soon. I'll have videos of Flèche and Liège. But otherwise, check out the Lanterne Rouge Cycling podcast for more regular coverage of the World Tour. Until those videos, ciao.